Welcome everybody to the live. We are now live. We are live. A lot of people register, so I'm hoping a lot of people coming into the live stream. Is there a lot of people coming on today? On this, what is it? I think we're on this Thursday evening. So we're gonna go live today. For those that don't know, my name is Christopher Akpala, founder of Tech Woke Media. Also the founder of RMF Academy. I've been working in the RMF space for a while now. And in today's video, we're going to kind of talk about more the in-depth on how to actually test the security control and just talk about what is the purpose of testing controls. So if you're watching, if you just came in, just put a comment down below if you're there. I know it's going to be a little slum. I'm a little late, so if you're just coming in, just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? And in this live, I'm going to, instead of like showing you like on an Excel sheet, in this live, I'm actually going to show you on an actual software that I have in my RMF Academy that can show you how to simulate and test these controls for yourself. So just make sure we keep that in mind. So we're just waiting for a couple more people to funnel in, and then we're going to go into it. Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit, but if you're on live, just say something to me. Say something to me. So I'm gonna start bringing some stuff up now. Hey, Alandune, how you doing? So I'm gonna bring up this chart that I use all the time. And if you go to my LinkedIn, anybody can check it out, screenshot it. So this is a chart that I created. It's just to help you better explain the RMF process to even understand why we should test controls in the first place. So this is just so you can help you out. So in the RMF space, you have to test controls, right? With NIST, you have the 7 steps of the RMF process that you have to follow to properly test a control. It can be 6 or 7, but it's 7 steps, right? Just so you can understand what the 7 steps are, we're just going to go through it right now. So we had the prepare step, and I tell this like anybody that has a football team. Like say you just become a head football coach, right? You become a head football coach. Like you the coach of the Commanders. You like, okay, well, we got to wipe out this whole team. We got to get rid of everybody, right? So in the prepare step, you have to start picking your players. Like who's going to be your quarterback? Who's going to receiver? In this instance, you're going to be like, okay, this is my ISSO. This is my vulnerability analyst. This is my system engineer. You got to start putting those people in place to do this job. That's the purpose of prepare step. You get your documents. What documents you need? What things you need? Things like that. Categorizing. You're categorizing the impact, the CIA. I know y'all familiar with that. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. What is the integrity of that system? So that's one thing you got to do when you're a system. You got to categorize the system using the FIPS documentation. So that's kind of the things that you do, low, medium, high. That's some of the things that you're going to do. Then you're going to select the controls, right? So when you select the controls, you're choosing these controls usually with your security control representative or somebody like that. You're selecting your controls through NIST 853 to help tailor it to your system. So you're selecting them, or sometimes they're automatic. They're different for every system. We got AI systems, all these things coming up now, so it could be different. Controls can be implemented. Controls are things that you have to implement for your program. And if anybody have any questions at any point, just let me know. If you have a question, just drop a comment. Implement controls. Implement is when you actually have to make sure that you're following what you're talking about. Like for example, if one of the controls says you want to have a frequency of your access control policy, you got to make sure that you're actually doing that. You got to make sure you're implementing STIGs. STIGs are make sure make sure your STIGs checklists are configured to your system. You got to make sure your ACAS vulnerabilities are taken. You got to make sure those things are implemented. So you got to make sure that stuff is ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to get into soon is the assess controls. Security. So in this step 5 is usually with a security control representative, a SCAR, even self evaluation, an information system security officer. This is where you're going to assess controls. You're going to make sure that in step 4 that these controls are implemented. So you're assessing controls. Okay, so you're assessing every control. And again, when you see it on this software I have that I just newly got for RMF Academy, you can go through all these steps and practice it to your heart's content, you know. So the last step is going to be the ATOs when you submit your ATO for review, and then the last step is just continuous monitoring, making sure that you're going through these steps and just making sure that you're continuously monitoring the package, your system, to make sure everything is go. So this is what you're going to be doing. Okay, that's kind of like the RMF personnel. What we're going to be focused on is the assess controls, and we're going to do self-assessment and we're going to pretend like we're an information system security officer. So is everybody tracking? Okay, so we got hi. Let me just put people up. Hey, how you doing? We got Jenny. Hey, how you doing? It's good to meet you. Everything good? We got Jeffrey. Hey, Christopher. Hey, how you doing, brother? Okay, so does everybody understand the 7 steps of RMF? Y'all got it? Y'all tracking? Y'all get it? Y'all understand? Okay, so again, we're going to focus on the assess phase. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull up my screen and show an example of assessing. So I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Okay, so in this example, what we're going to start doing is we're going to go over a system. These are just fake systems that don't exist. So what we're going to do, I created a system called RMF Academy. This is an EMAS simulation tool. This is not EMAS, just as anybody's watching. It's just a simulation tool. And anybody can use it if you check out RMF Academy. We have an upcoming cohort later this month. So we're going to go to here. So this is kind of how the system would look, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to controls. We're going to go to control listing. Okay, so we're going to go to a control. So we're just going to do a couple so you can make sure you got a base understanding. We're going to go to access control policy, right? Okay. So we're going to go to the access control policy. As you can see, here's the software. Here's where we got. So we're going to go to this one, right? When you're in the field, you got to look at the control, okay? And we're just going to I'm going to walk you through just so you can understand what testing control is. These are some of the controls that could be for your system. This is still in revision 5. It hasn't upgraded to revision 4. Revision 4 is revision 4 that hasn't had revision 5 control. So just to let you know. So for this, here we go. The organization defines a frequency for reviewing and updating the access control policy, right? That's what it's asking for. The organization defines a frequency for reviewing and updating an access control policy. So for those that are watching, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what would you look for to make sure that a program or a system is defining the frequency of the access control policy? What would you do? So I'm going to what would y'all think? Anybody got any ideas? No? Wait 1 second. Anybody got anything? And if you're just coming on the live, don't forget to like and share and comment down below just to make sure you're still here. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna show you. So when you're defining a frequency for reviewing and updating an access control policy, usually when you're in an access control policy or any documentation, you're going to state in some point of the document that this document is reviewed annually. So what you would do is you would go to an access control policy, right? If it says this access control policy is reviewed annually, or something's written in there to say it's reviewed annually, then you will mark this control as compliant. So we will say compliant. We can say the test date is probably today. And this is this example. I don't have access control policy. You can say who tested it. This is kind of how it would look. Test results. You can say, and this is for example, you can say reviewed. No, I'm gonna change it up. Please see. So that's all you would do. You'll just mark it compliant. You'll say uh who tested it, what date you tested, and then you would say, okay, this is where it's located. So that's what you would do, and then you just click save. That's normally how you would do it, and it's tracked. Okay, so but if it's not applicable, you can say, hey, this should apply, but you could say, hey, you got to say this. You got to give an example. Hey, for example, this does not apply to our system, and give a reason why. For this example, you're going to have it. But that's what you would do if it's not applicable to your system. Uh, if it's non-compliant to your system, right? Non-compliant, you can say this is non-compliant and be like, um, you can say this. You can say, hey, this is not compliant. There's no access control policy. Or you can say it's not compliant. Okay, so that's basically what you can put. Is everybody getting it? Oh, sorry. Does everybody understand? Okay. Well, I said check the AC control. No, yeah, you're correct. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this? Okay, we're gonna do a couple more so you can understand. So we're gonna do another one. So we're gonna look at this access control policy. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, so we're just gonna do another child control. And again, when you test the control, you got the main control, and every control under it is like a child control. Like, for example, let me show you. Testing, testing. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go back to it. We're having a little technical difficulties. Let me try it real quick. It's freezing up a little bit. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just freezing up a little bit. We're going to still keep it going. I think it's just slow malfunction. Let me see. Okay, we're back to working. Gotcha. We're back. So we got, let me look. So he said, so far, do you also need to provide support and documentation? That's a good question. Yes, you have to provide support and documentation. So we're going to go back to that. Okay, so we're going to go back to that. And this is what we're going to do. So when you're adding supporting documentation, right? You're going to put it in the control. You're going to click. I'm just going to just say, for example, compliant. I'm just going to just put it there. Okay, so you're going to go back. So you can upload your artifacts in here. So you can add your artifacts inside here. So that's what you would do. You'll add your evidence in there. Okay. So we're going to do another one just so I can kind of show you one more example of what it is. So like this one says, we're going to do another one. Let me see if I can find one. Again, those that are not online, this is not a real EMAS. It's just an emulator. So we're gonna do another control. We're gonna probably do AC2. We'll just do one of the AC2 child controls. So in this one, so what you would do for this control is saying the organization defines the frequency on which it will review information system accounts for compliance with account management requirements. So if you're going to do that, again, if it's compliant, you're going to put the test date. We're just going to use today's date. Tested by, I'm just going to just put my name. And for example, if you're testing a control, you can say, hey, so when you're again, and also too, make sure when you're testing the controls, make sure you always have your editors. You're going to have to upload it so it can make sure that if an auditor is checking it out, they can always check it. They can always check to see, okay, hey, this is what's going on. This is the artifact that defines it. So this is example, control is compliant. Please see access control policy, section 3.3. You're just saying where it's at. You can say it's non-compliant. You can say in non-compliant. There is no access control policy. Okay, it's NC is no control policy, or you can say it's not applicable. You don't have accounts. You could just say NA, we don't have accounts. There's various ways you can answer it, but you got to make sure, like you said, you're uploading your evidence too, like screenshots, whatever. But for this one, you're gonna have to have a document. Okay, and you're gonna upload it here. And then if it's non-compliant, you would just create a POAM. POAMs, I go over it another time, but if it's non-compliant, you create a POAM, a plan of action, and add it, and when you're gonna fix it. Okay. Okay, did everybody get a chance to? There we go. That's that. You got it. Got it 100%. So yeah, that's kind of how you're going to test controls. And yes, you got it. Who else got it? Okay. Les said, will you show example of a technical control? No, not on this. But if you want to check it out, check out RMF Academy. We're going to go over technical controls and everything. So Does anybody have any other questions or concerns? I just want to kind of quickly go over like what access control is and what is that, and explain to you what it is. Does anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Just let me know. Okay. Well, if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm going to put RMF Academy in the bio just so people can check it out. So just make sure you check out RMF Academy. And then I just want to show you one last thing. Just so I'm just going to let you know, we have a cohort for RMF Academy. It's going to happen at the end of this month. It's going to get everything you have. It's going to be April 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern. So just make sure you check it out. If you want to get more and dive in more depth and be job ready once you have, or if any government agencies need help with RMF training, just hit me up and we can talk. I know a lot of people have a hard issue using email. So just want to make sure you check it out and check out RMF Academy. But if I'm going to check one more time. Does anybody have any questions? If anybody don't have any questions, then I'm about to peace out. So thank you, everybody. We're going to do more tutorials like this, more podcasts, more things. So just make sure you keep checking it out. And I'll see you on the next one.